encounter against Lyon. The intensity is a little bit better, but they've shown enough, Hoffenheim, just for City need to be a little bit aware. Got the early goal, of course, but City didn't panic. They're still offering a bit of a threat in the counter-attack, Hoffenheim. So City just need to be careful. They're dominating possession, pushing forward, but just need to make sure to shut the back door, because Vincent Kompany's there at the back. We know what a wealth of experience he brings to the team, but hasn't got the legs that he did 5 years ago, Joe Kompany. That was shown in the build-up to the first goal. Just couldn't accelerate from a standing position to get back with the goal scorer. So they just have to be careful as well. Just give them a little bit of protection as well, even when they're in possession.
I didn't see the City goal.
With the Hoffenheim goal, after the first minute, they just player just spun off Kompany's shoulder into the penalty box, and where at his very best he could keep that high line, Joe, and from a standing position, spring back, and he'd make up the ground on anybody over 15 yards. I mean, those days are long gone. So he took a big gamble on the offside, didn't even react when the ball was played over the top and got done. So that's why they've just got to be a little bit careful. City is as pivotal as Kompany is in some respects in terms of his kind of leadership qualities and his presence on the pitch. Yeah. He has got one or two small frailties these days.
Was the Aguero goal good?
It was a tap-in for him, a player of his quality. Good build-up. Sané making that diagonal run, Joe, from outside to inside the full-back. And it's a great run. It's a run, to be honest with you, traditionally playing in the Premier League, you didn't see it too often. I remember playing in England for a couple of years when I went over, and I remember first experience, we played against Arsenal once at Highbury, and Overmars was playing left wing, and I was playing in the right back position. And as the ball was in the Arsenal midfield area, I remember the ball arriving to Petit a couple of times, and he opened up his body onto his left-hand side. Overmars was playing on the left wing. And my natural assumption was, as he opened up his body, that the ball was going to be played wide to Overmars on the wing, because traditionally that's the type of ball you faced as a full-back.
Outside of you, effectively.
Yeah, outside of me, exactly, over my right shoulder. So I'd literally be turning running towards the touchline to confront Overmars where the ball was being played. I remember the first time Overmars did it, as I took my eyes from the centre of the pitch from where Petit was, to look towards Overmars where I thought the ball was heading, he was gone in the opposite direction. He was literally running inside of me. And the timing of the run and then the ball on the inside actually took you out of the game, because your motion is taken in one direction and the player who's got real speed is heading in the opposite direction. So
yeah, and I'd say your centre half inside you wasn't expecting it either.
Yeah, exactly. If he's not switched, he's your get out of jail man. If he's not switched on, you're pretty much dead. But I remember the first time experiencing thinking, whoa,
what's this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that was the similar type of run Sané made. Brilliant run, ball over the top, and eventually set Aguero up for a little tap in. But it's the quality of the run from outside to win which was the killer.
We see it all the time now, don't we, that run?
Yeah, it's very prevalent in the modern game. Particularly now, we don't see really out-and-out wingers. In my day, wingers were wingers. You had a left-sided player playing the left and the right. And Joe, they didn't want to come on the inside onto their weaker foot. They wanted to stay wide, get the ball wide, hit the touchline, Tony Galvin style, sliding cross into the box in between the posts. That was it. That was kind of what you faced on a week-to-week basis. The game obviously has changed for some time. For the better, I think. It just, as a fullback now, keeps you guessing. And
you're looking at Overmars going, bloody hell, it's bad enough you're that fast. Now you're throwing this at me. It's not fair.
Oh, well, absolutely. Exactly. That's the template for like a top-class player winger, not only in terms of having the speed, but in terms of decision-making and the intelligence as well. The intelligence of knowing what type of run to make at any given time.
Because Gary Neville was doing, he does the sitting on the couch watching a game back with some people. Have you seen that? Gary Neville's
I've seen a little clip. Haven't sat through one yet.
It's really good, actually. Have you seen it, Rich?
Yeah. He sat there with he did one with Scholes famously. Yeah. I think it was one of the first ones.
Yeah. He sits there on a couch and goes through their bigger games, or sometimes games they played against each other or with each other.
I've seen it.
It's really good. Like, Neville brings a lot out of them. And I think he was with Sol Campbell recently, and they were both talking about just how good Overmars was. They said when he was in England for those few years, Neville was saying I couldn't mark him. He's too good.
Because he's always playing as a winger within that inside left channel, because that's the way he came through at Ajax, because they played that 4-3-3 with wingers, whether it was him and Finidi George or him and Bamangida, but they'd constantly play within those channels rather than being, as Kenny mentioned, like bet into the byline.
Coaches always used to preach to the wingers, get chalk on your heels to encourage him to stay wide and to remain there, actually. So you were always pretty sure as a full-back. You didn't even have to check your shoulders. You knew where your winger was, as opposed to the relatively modern phenomenon now of wingers breaking on the inside and causing you a few more problems with their movement.
There's a text in saying that somebody here thought the Liam Miller tribute match was a great occasion. Kenny emerged with a lot of credit, says Tommy. Did yourself all right. Kev Kilban got a fair roasting here on this show when he dared to show his face after.
Why is that? For what reason? What?
The chances he wasted, Kenny, were just appalling.
In fairness,
you'd have to come a bit. I hope you cut him a bit of slack there, lads.
No slack cut. There might have been one.
Put in his shift. I'll say that for Kev first half. He put in his shift. I saw it there first hand on the bench.
Well, he said himself the next day every part of him was hurting. He just like
I was limping
bits.
He was limping the next day.
Yeah, 90 minutes, lads. I mean, the lads came in before the game and said 80 metres. Somebody said, lads.
84.
84.
It was 84 or 86. One
the width of that pitch, Joe, was like...
The width of it was 84?
Yeah.
The width was 84. It was 28 metres from the tip of the 18-yard box to the touchline, which lads were saying generally 13 to 14.
The game was being played very narrow, put it that way. Very narrow.
Did they think you were all 20?
They wanted to bring it within, they wanted to basically keep the fans engaged and keep them close rather than have them be miles away from everything.
That's a tough one to balance, in fairness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nightmare for you. I can see how they want to be semi-close to the fans, but that is horrific.
Like, the fans were still miles from everything because everybody was still playing about 10 yards in from the byline.
It's that happy medium, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think in hindsight maybe, and it's just shave another 5-10 metres off either side would have been better, certainly from the players' perspective. But it was great, Joe. The stadium, I mean, so impressed with the stadium. I was looking to playing Crow Park as a 17-year-old and had the opportunity to turn out in Páirc Uí Chaoimh as a 47-year-old, and it was great. I'd love to see it. I mean, obviously... Can
we get you in sample before the year's through?
Yeah, but, do you reckon, even better?
We'll put something on.
Yeah, I just think it looked... Don't get me wrong, lads, obviously the tempo of the game was quite slow on occasion, so the whole place wasn't up for 90 minutes. But I was thinking, God, I'd love to be down here, GAA hurling, whatever, the place. I just like the shape of it. You know, the acoustics in the place. Actually. I don't know, but yeah. Have you been there, Rich?
Yeah, it's good.
Really, yeah. I really thought, wow, this place must really be rocking.
Oh, that's interesting, because like I saw Gary Neville and a few others say, oh, it's a very nice stadium, and I just thought, well, it's just the token thing that you have to say when you're in a different stadium.
No, I really, straight away when I came out, even for the warm-up, I thought, oh yeah, I like the look of it. Yeah, really impressed me. I mean, I don't, whether I'll live to see the day when we see an Irish international football team tug out there. I'd like to think so, you know.
It's not beyond the realms of possibility.
No, why not? Why not? I know initially you kind of rear against it, you think, oh. But really, I mean, taking an Ireland football team down there would be absolutely electric.
Yeah. To play in Cork, where the Cork public don't see them.
Yeah, and like the way that the local people, not just local people, I know it touched everybody around the country and abroad, but predominantly, you know, it was the surrounding area of, you know, Cork City and beyond, which were inside the stadium. But they love the sport. Irish people just love their sport in Cork just as much as anywhere else.
And we're not going to take a penalty for us now?
Well, I was looking at Duffers there, me and him, I was saying that Duffers is like deja vu, it's Saipan, not Saipan, it's like Japan all over again. Me and him in the centre circle looking at each other, what do you reckon, you, me? Yeah. No, Martin made the decisions. I'm not too sure it was the greatest decision to ask the lads who'd been substituted at half-time to step up.
Bit stiff.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe if Martin had to think that one over again, he might come to a different conclusion.
So I only caught the second half. I didn't realise that you'd been on the bench at the start, because I thought you were looking very fresh in that second half.
Done me a right favour, Martin. Done me an absolute right. I was a little bit, you know, desperate to get on, but I obviously couldn't understand Big Johan Mjalby and Dunny Star was gone 47 years of age, Joe. You know what I mean? I got to be realistic.
Yeah.
But he actually done well for me, Martin, because... Yeah, but by the end of that 45-minute second half, I must admit, I wouldn't say the stress signals, but yeah, your body's screaming.
And how close to kick-off did he name the team?
How close did I come to scoring a goal?
I saw that.
You haven't brought that up.
I saw that, yeah, you had a great chance.
I was devastated.
You heard what
great chance to score.
Sorry, you heard what Keith Andrews said in commentary.
I know, I didn't. I can imagine.
He roasted you.
He said...
fair play, I can't...
He said nosebleed.
Yeah, I don't remember having a panic. I just remember thinking, I can smash this, or I can just literally side pass it into the corner of the net. I mean,
you were a bit of an angle, weren't you?
No, cheers, Joe. It was a bad
angle.
It was a bad miss. It was a bad angle, but it was an even worse miss. But.
And was there a big night out afterwards all together? Everybody get together, or?
Yeah, it was a great night. We went down to City Hall. Great turnout. Yeah, just a great atmosphere.
Of course, there was
great energy.
There was the banquet that evening.
Okay. Yeah, just a great energy around the whole day, Joe, start to finish.
And did it feel very bittersweet as well the whole time?
At times, I mean, Liam's picture came up on they put a big screen behind the goal, and we're just walking around at the end of the game, just obviously to acknowledge the crowd and the support, and obviously looking up at those pictures of Liam, kind of, it did hit home, I've got to admit. And even at the banquet, they played some footage, some schools footage. I mean, we've all had them, haven't we? Like, Liam was young, he was playing the schools final at Páirc Uí Chaoimh, GAA match, and like a close-up of him going up and collecting the trophy. So, moments like that, kind of tough. I mean, tough for us watching, let alone, you know, how kind of emotional for the family. But I think the overriding feeling for the whole day was, I think everybody, I hope, not enjoyment probably wouldn't be the best adjective. Yeah, celebration, yeah, absolutely. And just a real great energy around the whole place. Supporters, people in the banquet that night, just generally, even the preparation, the lead up to it, people couldn't have been nicer, like, you know. And I'd have to say the turnout, even from Manchester United, the Manchester United squad who came over, Andy Cole came over, they had no chance of playing. Brian Robson came as well. Yeah, I thought it was a real kind of class act from the Manchester United Football Club from start to finish. Alex Ferguson was involved at the very start. Michael O'Flynn spoke about that at the very start of the evening. So, yeah, not for the first time, Manchester United really carried themselves, I thought, with a touch of class as well from start to finish.
Okay, good. The news round is brought to you this evening with Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a choice of over 20,000 quality trade products. And Richie, I presume you're starting with the live action? Yeah, into the last half hour at the Ryan Necker Arena in one of tonight's early Champions League kickoffs. It's currently Hoffenheim 1, Manchester City 1, as Kenny mentioned there. Ishak Belfaldi gave the Bundesliga side the lead inside the first 60 seconds there, with Sergio Aguero equalised inside 7 minutes. Group G's other game has an 8 o'clock start with Lyon playing host to Shakhtar Donetsk. Manchester United, they welcome Valencia to Old Trafford tonight in Group H. United start with David De Gea in goal, the back four of Antonio Valencia, Chris Smalling, Eric Bailly and Luke Shaw. In midfield, it's Marwan Fellaini, Nemanja Matic and Paul Pogba, while Alexis Sanchez and Marcus Rashford flank Romelu Lukaku. That kicks off at 8. The other early start among tonight's Champions League group games was also Manchester United's group. In Turin, it is currently Juventus 2, Young Boys 0. Paulo Dybala has gotten both of those goals tonight for Juve. In Group G, defending champions Real Madrid are away to CSKA in Moscow from 8, while Roma take on Victoria Plzen. And in Group E, Bayern Munich face Ajax this evening, and AEK Athens go up against Benfica. Jose Mourinho has been writing in the Manchester United programme this evening, the crest on the chest is more important than the name on the back of the shirt. All my life, I have followed certain golden rules, Kenny. One of them is that a team can lose matches, but never ever its dignity. It must fight, work, compete, win duels, be humble. He says that leads to another pair of golden rules which must be followed. The team is more important than the individual. The crest on the chest more important than the name on the shirt. This is me. This is how I work. This is what I ask of my team, my group, my club. Signed, Jose.
Yeah, but you could roll that out for any manager interested in any group of players.
Oh, it's dreadful stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I must admit.
Hackney thing I think I've ever read.
Yeah. And I think if you want to delve a little bit deep, you've got to ask yourself, well, if the players aren't performing at the level that he expects of them, as they should expect of themselves, the big question is why? Is this a fundamental flaw in the mentality of the players, or is there a bigger issue at work here in terms of the actual environment around the football club, the players' working environment, and this is how it's manifesting itself on a weekend in terms of the quality performances we're seeing from Manchester United? That's the interesting conversation, not like you say the throwaway cliches that Mourinho's putting out.
We'll preview this game in about 10-15 minutes time in a bit more depth, but at the moment, latest count is we know pretty much for a fact he's not on speaking terms anymore with Antonio Valencia. Hardly the most disruptive force throughout his career, Antonio Valencia. Alexis Sanchez and him are in hot water, and the Pogba thing continues. That's the latest head count we have.
He's given that side enough rope tonight with that selection, with Pogba starting, with Alexis Sanchez starting, with Valencia starting, and with Eric Bailly starting as well, who hasn't fancied it at all in the last couple of games. He's like, all right, go on, let's see what you can do.
Yeah. So that kicks off at 8. The only positive for Manchester United is Valencia are even in worse form than Manchester United are. Valencia are 14th in La Liga. They're in terrible form. So it's not the most daunting of prospects for Manchester United. It's certainly not the Valencia.
I don't understand Fellaini. They spent 55 million on Fred in the summer. He's meant to be that missing piece in that central midfield there to play alongside Matic and Pogba.
Yeah.
I was over here a couple of weeks, so we saw them play Young Boys at Bern. I thought it was a decent performance. I liked what I saw that night. That 4-3-3. I liked the dynamic in midfield. Pogba and Fred getting themselves forward in contact with the front three. Rashford, Martial, Lukaku. They looked a real threat. Plenty of pace, dynamism in the team. But I didn't see Fred at the weekend, and again, he's on the bench tonight. So if you're looking to build a team, a kind of cohesive unit, you got to throw this fella needs 6, 8 games. I'm still not 100% convinced, but he's shown me enough, Fred, to suggest he might be the answer in central midfield. But we're not going to find out playing one week and out the team the next. He's literally got to put a team on the pitch and try and keep them there for as often as possible. Boy in at centre half. Lindelof looked as if he was going to get run alongside Small, and he's out. Boy, he's in.
Yeah.
Don't think it helps.
Yeah, fair point. I should mention next week we're celebrating the return of the Heineken Champions Cup. We've got a very special show for you. It's live from University Concert Hall in Limerick, and we can finally announce that we'll be joined on the night by the one and only Ronan O'Gara is going to be special guest on the night. Alongside Brian O'Driscoll, Keith Wood and Nathan presenting, we have had to make more tickets available because we keep selling out. So if you want the last of those tickets, Ronan O'Gara, the special guest, go to offtheball.com/events, get your tickets while they're still available. You can print them off or download them to your phone, and bear in mind it's an over 18s event. Visit drinkaware.ie. So again, offtheball.com/events to see Ronan O'Gara, Brian O'Driscoll, Keith Wood and others at Limerick Concert Hall. Now, next story, Rich.
Yeah, the woman who alleges she was raped by Cristiano Ronaldo in 2009 is suing the Juventus forward. The suit was filed at a Clark County court in Nevada last week, with the woman also seeking to void a confidentiality agreement which she claims was used to keep her story private. Las Vegas police say a criminal case with the number matching that published in the Associated Der Spiegel article at the weekend has also been reopened. Ronaldo has denied the claims levelled against him. He was of course suspended for tonight's game, with young boys hence not involved there.
Yeah, Der Spiegel published this story, or certainly good fragments of it, last year, and it went away very quickly, and since then the woman at the centre of the case, who didn't want to speak a year ago, has now given the Me Too movement, given her what she says herself is her own increasing anger at the situation. She has spoken to Der Spiegel, and that has moved things on in a big way, and the case has been reopened, as Richie says. You can go onto the Der Spiegel website and read her interview, her full interview. It's a big long piece in English, and it's probably worth doing that. Obviously it's still a very sensitive legal issue at the moment, so there's only so much we can say about it or editorialise about it, but it's definitely worth reading her interview in Der Spiegel. And Ronaldo had a live Instagram post in the last few days where he said it was fake news. It was a pretty weak response, really. I mean, he was kind of...
Silly response.
It was a bit silly, yeah.
To have a response that flimsy. Yeah. It's not something that should be really engaged in.
I was shocked he did it, actually. It was
don't say anything.
About 30 seconds long. Certainly if people were advising him, they would have said, don't go on like this, smiling and grinning. And
yeah, I mean, there are allegations of a very, very serious nature, so that should be reflected in the tone of how you deal with it.
Precisely, yeah. So, yeah, it's worth checking out the Der Spiegel piece anyway, and I think we're in the process. We're trying to speak to somebody from Der Spiegel, but they're doing about 1 billion interviews at the moment, and... very busy, so we'll bring you that when we get through to them, and they're free. So still 1-1 between Hoffenheim and Manchester City, 68 minutes on the clock. There's some GAA changes.
Oh, good news, Joe. GAA changes are plenty afoot. You're going to need a Dungeons and Dragons-esque manual before taking to the field in Gaelic football pretty shortly.
I'm going to scribble these down as I stand here. Number one.
Sorry, who's proposing these? The standing committee?
The standing committee for playing rules within the GAA.
So this is right from the GAA, this is right from the top?
From within. Okay. Restricting the number of consecutive hand passes to 3 is the first of those proposed rule changes.
Well, I thought referees have too much to do already.
Well, stop. Well, listen, Joe, if you think that's bad. Okay. They've also put forward the idea to reintroduce the sin bin for a period of 10 minutes for players that receive a black card or a second yellow.
Do you know, I think a sin bin for a black card is a much better punishment.
Than just automatic sub.
Yeah, I think too many times for players it's their championship season over, and sometimes the black card is open to interpretation. A sin bin, you'll still be pissed off, but you know what? I can live with being off for 10 minutes instead of, well, I've trained for 8 months and now this is me done. Thanks very much, ref. So I'm all for that one. We've passed that one. Kenny,
I think so far so good.
All right, Kenny's passed these two.
Fair enough. Elsewhere,
fair enough.
Under their proposals, only 2 players from each team would be allowed between the 2 45-metre lines at a kick-out.
Right.
Oh, it is the one which is confusing me. So my first question was, we've got time for this, what's the difference between, how big is that area, metres? You're saying there's only 4 players allowed from the 2 45-metre line. Is it another 45 metres?
No.
35?
Maybe 25.
Only 25?
Yeah.
Really? Is that all? I thought it was more than
65, maybe 30. 25 to 30.
30 metres. Only 4 players.
So what they're doing here is they just want to bring back high fielding. So,
yeah.
I mean, every 6'4" player in every county is going to be all up for this. Dead right, let's do this. And You know, if you
fancy your chances, yeah, it's a good opportunity.
If you've got a big midfield pairing and another two aren't so big, your keeper's going to lob every ball in there. Now, what's going to happen? I mean, unintended consequences and everything. There'll be a quick change at the kickouts where the tall lad at centre half back will run up and the midfielder will run back, and you'll be getting your two tallest players into the midfield.
Well, I suppose I'm guessing it's encouraging that kick from the goalkeeper straight into the middle, kind of that middle third of the pitch.
Yeah, and you'll see a contest.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of people actually looking, which I can understand, because for me one of the big features traditionally of the game has been that the big kick from back to front. Fielding the ball even under some pressure, you know, and taking it out of the sky. That's a fantastic skill. I was weak as him. I never remember taking the ball out, coming out of the clouds. But it's a magnificent skill. Yeah. But when can the players join in though? Once contact is made,
I'd presume
somebody in there.
The ball from the kick out shall travel beyond the 45-metre line before being played by a player of the defending team.
Yeah, it would have to be, because if it was when the ball was kicked, every player would be inside.
Exactly. Yeah. So once it's touched almost, and
All right, okay. We'll
that's all right.
We'll put that on ice. Yeah. It's not rubber stamped. It's on ice.
Are you ready for the sexy one? This is the sexy one, Joe.
Right, come on.
They're also seeking to expand the parameters of the rules surrounding the mark.
Yeah.
So, under the new proposals, as he tries to get them up here, to extend the application of the mark to the clean catching of the ball or inside the 20-metre line from a kick delivered on or beyond the 45-metre line without it touching the ground. In the case of a mark being awarded to an attacking player on or inside the 20-metre line, the free, if availed of, shall be taken from the point of the 20-metre line directly in line where the mark is awarded.
So in short, if someone boots the ball in long and it's caught inside the...
No, you said from inside. It has to be booted from inside the 45-metre line, though, did you? Can it be delivered from outside?
From on or beyond the 45-metre line?
No, so you've got to be beyond.
Outside the 45. Oh, so it's a proper long ball in.
Yeah.
So you have to be outside the opposition 45.
No, you said inside there. You said inside.
To extend the application of the mark to the clean catching of the ball or inside the 20-metre line from a kick delivered on or beyond the 45-metre line without touching the ground.
So you have to be further out.
Right, so beyond towards the halfway line.
Yes.
I've got you,
Policing this is going to be great crack, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's a fair point. So what they want to bring back is some lad on the halfway line booting it in high, and a young Kenny Cunningham rising from the clouds, catching it at full forward and getting his free.
Yeah, but there's a logic to that. Not everybody's going to do it. Naturally, they'll still be prepared to go and hand pass the ball. Only three, obviously, and they can still work their way patiently up the pitch. But there's an obvious incentive there to play the ball long inside that 20 metre. That's a mark, so that's a guaranteed. Well, it's a guaranteed point, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, they know what it is. So if approved, I'm seeing that's going to be trialled in next year's league.
There's one more.
Yeah, go on.
Sideline kicks can only be taken in a forward direction once they're outside the opponent's 13-metre line.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Sané in. Is it a penalty? Is it a penalty? Is it a penalty?
Yellow card.
He's gone down.
Dive.
Yeah, the referee's waving that one away.
Okay. Sané was saying he touched it first and the keeper clipped him, but I suspect we're about to see a replay. It's still 1-1, which doesn't do Sané any favours. Touches it. Oh, that's a penalty. Kenny?
It's a penalty.
Not been given, though.
He touches. Sané gets the ball first. Keeper comes out. That's Stonewall penalty, Kenny.
Penalty, yeah. Yeah, it's a penalty. He's totally committed to it. It's not one of them where he actually pulls out and pulls his arms away. The goalkeeper's actually totally committed. He extends his arms. There's actually not a huge amount of contact. Sané actually tries to ride it, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
there's interference there.
Sané wasn't booked anyway. There's a dreadful story, Rich, coming out from the Ryder Cup and Brooks Koepka.
A spectator hit by a Brooks Koepka tee shot at the Ryder Cup says she has lost sight in her right eye and is considering legal action. The incident happened on the opening day of the event when the Americans' drive in the sixth hole veered off course, striking 49-year-old Corinne Ramond. A statement from Ryder Cup organisers disputes a previous claim of no warning, saying 4 was shouted several times following the tee shot. Organisers also say they will offer the woman and her family assistance for as long as is necessary.
It's horrific. So she's blind in one eye for life. At best, the doctors were saying she might be able to see shapes, but she's based, in terms of driving and various things. Her really
mostly blind in one eye. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Her right eye is pretty much gone.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was that.
Since I was a chiseler, Joe.
Is that right? Did you have any incident?
No. It's born that way.
Wow.
Much like Lady Gaga.
I mean, you get to 49, whatever about being a kid, you get to 49, you go to a golf tournament, you're not expecting this. Everybody saw the incident. Do you want me to delve into your...
That's fine, go on.
And everybody saw the incident happen. That was the short par 4, the 6, so they were all driving for the green.
Yeah.
And they did shout 4. I mean, there were screams of 4, and the crowd are well back from the fairways on the rough.
I'm a huge amount of sympathy for the lady. Obviously, it sounds horrendous, but I'm not too sure the legal recourse there, who you actually sue there. It's just...
I think when you buy a ticket, part of the terms and conditions are you acknowledge there is an inherent danger in standing around where a golf ball is going to be landing all day. So I don't think she'll have any recourse legally, but I mean, Jesus, it's shocking.
It's amazing, really, because on that golf course, ironically, John, that golf course, the spectators were kept as far away from the fairway as possible. That was one of the features of the course. One of the rough was rough because of the fact that the spectators hadn't trampled over. They were kept way away.
He was way offline.
Yeah.
I wonder what effect that may have on him. Like, he seems like a fairly unsentimental type and tough. But
no, I think
that's a big thing to deal with. And he did go over to her at the time. I mean, he didn't just walk by. He went over to see if she was okay. Amazingly, she said, I told him everything was fine because I didn't want to distract him. Like, how conscientious is she?
Yeah, that's absolutely unbelievable.
And he played on, gave her a glove. Rex Huggard at the Golf Channel I was talking to said Koepka was very shook when he came in afterwards. You know, they don't. I mean, it does affect them. I mean, when you imagine waking up to that news, Brooks, bad news, that woman, it's not great. The next time he's standing on a tee and about to open his shoulders and really try and rip one, so he'll notice the crowd a good bit more than he ever has before.
Yeah, it's fascinating golf for me, just the mental side of things. And you're right, they've got so much to deal with. I mean, not making a trivial point, but for me, you're talking about being on the tee box and swinging the club. Those idiots, and there was one there all weekend, really kind of got up my nose, who just let the old mashed potato show straight after. I mean, even that, you're talking about psychologically, these players know that's coming. As soon as the club head hits the ball, within a millisecond, that shout's coming. They must know that. So to be able to kind of block that out and still perform and execute the shot, knowing that's coming. Now, I know that's in relation to the other thing, it's a separate matter, but the principle's kind of the same, just in terms of having that kind of mental toughness, just to literally block out. Why don't they throw those people off? I mean, it's not as if who said it. I mean, he's the only one screaming at the top of his voice when everybody else, 1,000 people around the tee are being quiet. Why do they allow that?
No, the horse is bolted now. Like, it's, I don't know how you police that.
Seriously, that can't be.
It's a difficult one too.
It's not acceptable.
Hey, you know the US team, the fallout, because Padraig Harrington's going to be on after 8 talking more about the European side of things, but Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth, that thing has really blown up, and Patrick Reed went to the New York Times and said, like, Jordan Spieth basically wouldn't play with me. I mean, it's not far off it. He prefers, he won't play with me. He likes Justin Thomas, he won't play with me.
I dealt with my young for about a month ago when he came home from school. I've been there.
It's very upsetting. And Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson had to be pulled apart in the European team room, so they're throwing digs at each other.
That is a fight I would have paid. That was pay-per-view written all over it. If you'd have said to me at the time there's a fight kicking off the clubhouse with them two, if you could give us your credit cards, 20 quid, bang, I would have been all over that.
It was all back at the European party though as well.
Yeah. And
who would you fancied? Who would you fancy in a head-to-head? Johnson or Koepka?
Not
Joe?
Johnson.
Oh, I think Koepka would pull a knife.
Okay. Jesus, Joe.
Now I'm talking bare knuckle, because he's a bull, isn't he? He's an absolute bull, Koepka.
Like, Johnson's the slightly taller man, but I feel like Koepka's a killer.
He's got the reach. He's like a orangutan, isn't he? Like John's arms.
Yeah.
The reach he's got though. He's got ridiculous long arms.
They work out together in a Florida gym. Like, they're best mates.
They're called the Bash Brothers, isn't
they? They are, yeah, the Bash Brothers. So they work out together every day. Like, there's a real. I think this isn't a proper falling out. They're fighting the way brothers fight.
It's two lads drunk at a wedding.
Alcohol, yeah. But you were saying it's moved on from there though. You were saying.
Yeah. It's all kicked on. Oh yeah, Gretzky, Paulina Gretzky has deleted every photo on her Instagram that had Brooks Koepka involved.
Social media story, he's on top of it.
You know, what is that? What is the politics? Obviously, I don't know the politics of social media. What is that?
That is a.
Would you be highly offended? Would that be it if someone?
Joe gets untagged. That's a
public shaming.
Really? Yeah,
listen, that's humiliating.
It is humiliating in social media circles. Yeah, right.
I was in a roundabout way going to ask you. So Patrick Reed is basically saying it doesn't matter if we get on or don't get on. We go out and we play for the team. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
You've been in team environments. I'm sure you didn't get on with everyone. Did it actually, once you got onto the pitch, help if you were matesy the way the Europeans were?
Yeah, but I think this is different, Joe. I think there's a big difference. In terms of a partnership, a team environment, Rich, 12, 14, 16 players, you can get away. You can almost hide in the crowd to an extent, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you go out as a pairing, there's really no hiding place. And for me, it's a simple argument. Are you going to perform at a better level potentially if you have a natural chemistry with somebody as opposed if you don't? If really don't like each other, there's a bit of animosity there. Surely you can't make the argument there's no difference. You should be able to just get on with it. Yeah. I think it's a natural assumption that if the chemistry is better, by and large, that's a better environment to go and play to the best of your ability.
It's still 1-1 between Hoffenheim and City, 80 minutes in the clock. All this week we've teamed up with Virgin Media Sport, the new home of European football in Ireland, to give away a fantastic prize. Our nightly winner will get a €50 one-for-all voucher and then go into our end-of-week draw, a trip for two to see Liverpool against Napoli in the Champions League Tuesday 11th of December, and we'll throw in €200 spending money as well. To be in with the chance of winning, just identify our Champions League mystery voice who says he always fancies his chances in a foot race against our own Kenny Cunningham.
But as soon as I lifted my head, then I thought, he's got no chance.
You got your headphones
Listen,
there?
No, I missed it.
No, put them back in.
Put them back in, go on then.
But as soon as I lifted my head, then I thought, he's got no chance.
If you know how that is, text your... I mean, he's not wrong there.
It's the little chuckle at the end.
Text your name and answer to 53106. And if you do, then you must be able to travel from Dublin on Tuesday morning and return on Wednesday, all with thanks to Virgin Media Sport, with more than 400 UEFA Champions League, Europa League, Nations League games live this season. Virgin Media Sport is exclusive to all Virgin Media TV customers, and you can download the TV Anywhere app and stream all the action whenever and wherever you like.
Got a little addendum to that if you're interested.
Oh, God.
That particular person you're after, the name who you're after.
Don't give it away, though.
I was on the pitch when he scored his
first
ever top flight goal.
Was that the curler into the bottom right corner, far corner against Wimbledon?
Yeah.
17. Everybody knows who it is anyway.
Way too much information. I was trying to...
Joe, there's competition laws in this country.
Holy hell.
Oh, dear.
That, funny enough, that became his textbook moving on. His textbook finished throughout his career.
Well, now you're just giving it away.
That little open the right side up, inside the right foot, far corner.
Yeah.
He's kind of renowned for that.
Yeah.
That's why I never rate him ahead of another one of Liverpool's greats. Let's just throw it over there now. Robbie Fowler. I never put him up with Fowler as the best goal finisher. Fowler for me is always head and shoulders above this particular player, whoever
Sean
he is.
Dundee.
Would you have Fowler above pretty much anyone then, the way you're talking? We have to go. We got to go to an ad break. You think about it during
Those
the
two in
ads.
particular for me, better finisher, Fowler, head and shoulders.
Okay, we'll run you through Manchester United, Valencia next.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Thanks to Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a choice of over 20,000 quality trade products.
The Pat Kenny Show.
On tomorrow's programme, as